weep, don't you mourn. Oh, Philly, don't you weep, don't you mourn. Solar power is coming. Oh, Philly, don't you weep. If I could, I surely would. Bring new jobs that are clean and good. Solar power is coming. Oh, Philly, don't you weep.
So I see us here in this small room being the vanguard of a real movement for change. Mm-hmm. Not just talking the talk, but really walking the walk. Daring to walk through communities throughout this 100-mile stretch, telling them about the potential of the green economy in their poor communities, but also connecting back to this community and the racial justice that needs to occur here.
The little bit of solar that they're exploring doing now is a great tiny baby step, but the urgency of climate change means they have to do much, much more, much, much faster. I think they're going to have to do that eventually, and my message to them is to make sure they do it in a way that's really best for our communities, creating local jobs, creating energy savings for people who need it most.
We are walking 100 miles to show PECO the way from the fossil fuel past to the renewable energy future. We're going all around PECO's service area, and then just through that experience, something that I already know, which is that Philadelphia has some of the most extreme inequality in the country. Truly, some of the most concentrated wealth in the country is in our suburbs, and some of the most hungry and suffering and impoverished, but people living in these conditions are right in our city too. And so we're really connecting the dots by literally walking through and seeing the transitions between neighborhoods and where the trees are and where social services are and where there is decades of neglect and disinvestment and racism.
I want to tell PECO to stop sitting by and getting on into same old. Be the leader that you talk about being, caring about the community, and be the leader and the innovator of change that I believe they can be. They have the ability to really change and become not just a big company in a city, but make a huge impact in both the industry and in the community.
So our demand to PECO is 20% solar by 2025. We really believe that this is doable. As we've been on this walk and talking to people along the way, when they find out that the amount of solar that PECO is sourcing is less than a percentage, less than 1%, a fraction of a percentage, and that policy, which they've had a hand in shaping, only mandates a very small amount and doesn't even mandate that it be that this power be generated in our backyard, in our community, which a utility is supposed to serve. That really makes an effect on people.
One of the actions we did was at the Croydon Generating Station. The Croydon Generating Station is a fossil fuel plant. It's fueled by oil, and it represents the past. It represents what we don't want. It represents what we need to turn away from. And we decided that we would put up caution tape on the fence, because fossil fuels, they're more than a caution. They are a danger to our future, to our planet, to our environment, to our air. This particular plant is right on the Delaware River. It's right off River Road, and that means that the oil for this plant is coming in by ship and being stored in giant oil tanks, and then it's being used to create electricity right here. So what happens if that oil spills? What happens when that oil is burned? You've got pollution possibilities in every direction. This is what we don't want. We don't need this plant. We could have solar energy that would be distributed among the community so that the profits would not be concentrated in the hands of a very few, but would be returned to the communities in which the electricity is generated.
Today was the last day of our Walk for Green Jobs and Justice. We came down from North Philly We walked down Broad Street, and our first stop was at Youth Build Charter School, where they have a green build program. They're learning how to do solar installations and green building and retrofits. Then after that, we continued down Broad Street to City Hall, where we met up with the big group, about 200 people, I would say, maybe 250 for this final mile.
To be honest, Pico, 20% is not enough. It's not. Philadelphia needs more. Because we're tired of our children having asthma. We're tired of people suffering from chronic illnesses that are caused by poor air pollution, in part produced by energy sites.
But our goal is not just the amount of solar. It is about the just transition you've been hearing about. It's about helping communities thrive. And there are ways PICO can do that. By putting rooftop solar as a priority and prioritizing the very neighborhoods that have been hit worse by the fossil fuel economy.
Everybody is coming together to say what we now know to be true, which is that if we could just get the fossil fuel industry out of the way, we could change this planet in short order.
Look at your brothers, your sisters are by your side. When your heart's open, you have nothing to hide.
We are walking in the ways of the